The final award of the night is the Alex Odeh Award, and it is the reason that we are all here tonight, a very special occasion. And this award will be going to Dr. Rabab Abdulhadi tonight. Presenting this award is a very special person, the daughter of Alex Odeh, Helena Odeh. And I just want to say thank you so much for coming out here. It's not easy, but we really appreciate your continued support, and it takes a lot to come here in front of everyone and to continue your father's legacy. So thank you so much for presenting this award. We really appreciate you.
Good evening. My father, Alex Odeh's life was dedicated to promoting human rights through the arts, interfaith community building, and fearless advocacy. The Alex Odeh Award is presented to someone who possesses the same qualities that my father inspired our community with. Tonight, we are honored to present the award to Dr. Rabab Abdulhadi. Dr. Abdulhadi is an internationally known scholar, an advocate committed to collective work and justice-centered scholarship and pedagogy. She has co-founded several community organizations, such as the U.S. branch of the General Union of Palestine Students, the Union of Palestinian Women Association in North America, and the Palestine Solidarity Community. Dr. Abdulhadi is the director and senior scholar in the Arab and Muslim ethnicities and diasporas and associate professor of ethnic studies, race, and resistance studies at the Historic College of Ethnic Studies, San Francisco State University. Before joining FSCU, she served as the first director of the Center for Arab American Studies at the University of Michigan, Dearborn. She is a policy advisor for the Al-Sabaka, the Palestinian independent think tank, and serves on the International Advisory Board of the World Congress of the Middle East Studies, where she chairs its international committee. She is a co-founder and editorial board member of the Islamophobia Studies journals and co-author of the Mobility Democracy. Changing U.S. policy in the Middle East, she co-edited Arab and Arab American Feminism, Gender, Violence, and Belonging, winner of the 2012 National Arab American Nonfiction Book Award, and a special issue of the MIT Electronic Journal of Middle Eastern Studies, special issues on gender, nation, and belonging. In recognition of the dedication and commitment of the Arab American Committee and the larger Peace and Justice Committee, Doctor? I present to you the 2019 ADC Alex Odeh Memorial Award.
Thank you. I'm truly honored. I am truly honored to be here speaking today. Being given this award by the daughter of Alex Odeh and by the American Arab Anti-Discrimination Committee. ADC was founded by Senator James Abu Rizq, who himself was Arab and indigenous. And it's important to note that today on the Indigenous Peoples' Day, October 12th. So I honor also the Tongva people on whose land we meet today. I also honor Alex Odeh, who was a martyr for justice, for freedom, for human rights. And he too was also a martyr along with Rachel Corrie. I think it's so important for us to be here today and think about the legacies of justice, the legacies of love, the legacies against hate, and for people, mutual understanding, coming together, working together to defeat all sorts of hate, all sorts of injustices, anywhere they may be, whether we're talking in Washington, D.C., where ADC national office is, we're talking here in Orange County, or we're talking in San Francisco State University. I'm also very honored to be receiving this award along the same comrades in Jewish Voice for Peace, because JVP has also really proven that Zionists do not own Jewishness. It's very, very important, because Zionist organizations and the Israel lobby have tried to silence all of us, have attacked us again and again, and this is part of the reason ADC was founded, right? It's all the racism and discrimination against Arab Americans and against everybody else, because ADC stands for justice. It doesn't only stand for Arab Americans and Arabs, for everybody. The Zionists claim to represent Jewishness. They claim that JVP, as they said in my court case, JVP, quote unquote, fake Jews. Because they claim that they represent, actually, as a matter of fact, for people who don't, I'm an educator, I'm a professor. It's really important to look at history, that actually the first initial responses to confronting anti-Semitism did not come from Zionists. Zionists claim to be the stewards for the fight against anti-Semitism, but that wasn't the case. There was a struggle against anti-Semitism that linked to all sorts of struggles against injustices, and that's really very important. They tried to create enough noise pollution. They tried to smear us with charges of anti-Semitism, and they cynically misuse anti-Semitism that blinds people to the need to struggle against anti-Semitism that we saw in the Trio of Life synagogue, that we see day in and day out, and we see also coming from the administration. When somebody in the White House, and excuse me if you disagree with me, I will say it, somebody in the White House says that there are correct people on both sides in Charlottesville, when racists get up and say Jews will not replace us. But it is not a problem for Zionists and for white supremacists actually to unify with each other, because they're not really against anti-Semitism. They're not against all sorts of hatred and racism. They are unified, and one of the proof is Richard Spencer, who was one of the organizers of Unite the Right rally, who actually got on Israeli TV and said, I'm a white Zionist. And when Israel passed its nation-state law that increased the racism and discrimination against Palestinians, he actually hailed. He has all these tweets all over saying, there is no contradiction. There is no contradiction between support for Israel and being anti-Semite. There is no contradiction. They go hand in hand. And that is our job to do. And that's what we're trying to do. In our program, the Arab and Muslim ethnicity and diasporas, we teach about Islamophobia. We teach about the history of Jewish people who actually said never again for anyone. Never again for anyone. And recently, JVP stood in front of ICE offices everywhere and said never again for anyone. For anyone. Because we speak about the indivisibility of justice. We teach about Palestine and everything else on the indivisibility of justice. I just want to give you a couple of words about our program. I was brought to San Francisco State, as you heard, from University of Michigan, Dearborn, to build a program at San Francisco State University. And I was very excited because San Francisco State has the Historic College of Ethnic Studies that 50 years ago, students led the longest student strike in history and demanded exactly what ADC is also talking about, that people need to be learning and hear the lived experiences of communities from people who know those communities, that we would like to write our own histories, that we do not want our legacies to be erased. We are capable for speaking for ourselves, and we should be respected. We're not saying we're the only ones, but we should be able to represent ourselves and have self-determination and say who we are. And I was brought, and I was very excited, and I said, yes, I will be very happy to do so. Within a couple of years, Zionists at San Francisco State financed a chair in Israeli studies, visiting professor, right away, Within 2 more years, the faculty lines that I had negotiated, I would have never gone to San Francisco State without critical mass, were taken away from us because racists protested against an event memorializing the Palestinian mural, honoring the late Professor Edward Said, and invited Omar Barghouti, one of the co-founders of the BDS movement, Boycott, Divestment, Sanctions, and the Boycott National Committee on Palestine. As a result, the university president not canceled the event, but he canceled the searches for us and took away our faculty lines. They thought that we will not be able to build the program. But I was brought in to do a job. So I said, I'm going to continue doing my job. If San Francisco State has changed its mind because of its coziness with Zionist organizations, that's their problem. We're going to continue. And I relied on our students, on scholars from the Bay Area, on scholars internationally, on scholars everywhere in the US Academy, and we together were able to propose and have an academic minor. We actually have now an academic minor called Arab and Muslim Ethnicities and Diasporas that was approved by San Francisco State and was approved by California State University. And the center of analysis of it is justice. We produce knowledge for justice. We do not produce knowledge to teach people to kill. We produce knowledge for justice, and we produce the best students who go on, and I'm not going to embarrass some of them who are here in the audience, who go on to earn incredible fellowships and scholarships at the elite universities, and they are ahead of the game. We produce students who just been hired as assistant professor at UCLA. We produce students who receive the Edward Said Scholarship, and we continue to do the job that we are supposed to. We have 22 courses, including Palestine, it's called Palestine, Islamophobia, Comparative Border Studies, Palestine and Mexico, Civil Liberties of Arabs and Muslims post 9/11, 2001, and so on and so forth. This is what we teach, and we teach about all sorts of justices: gender, sexuality, race, religious, ability, age. We teach about, because justice in and for Palestine is connected to the indivisibility of justice and cannot be disconnected. It has to be connected, and that's historically has been the position of the Palestinian movement. But as a result of that, we have had multiple attacks by Zionist groups from the Canary Mission that put the names of my students on their website and actually got 2 fierce, young, amazing students, female students, to be threatened with sexual harassment, sexual violence. We've been attacked by David Horowitz Freedom Center. Nothing freedom about it, but that's the name they call. 4 sets of posters they put all over the university with calling us Jew hatred and saying we are terrorist supporters and putting the names of our students along with any other universities. We're not the only ones, but they've been targeting us because we're building a program. We've been targeted by the Amcha initiative, by Stand With Us. As a matter of fact, Stand With Us yesterday, 2 days ago, actually filed a complaint with the Department of Education against UCLA over a lecture I gave in May on Islamophobia, claiming that I harassed the students, even though the whole lecture is online. The whole video is online. And I was actually being harassed by Zionist students. They change things all around and they twist things around in order to claim victimhood when they actually do not really represent the real Jewish voices, which is like JVP, Jewish Voice for Peace. And this goes along with what's going on today. We see the attack on the California Ethnic Studies curriculum because it speaks about Palestine, speaks about justice. And it's also the intent is to make it very costly for anybody who supports justice in for Palestine and say, don't you dare. And this is very similar to McCarthyism. We call it the new McCarthyism. The attempt to silence, to isolate, to bully, to intimidate, to put fear. And I know I actually was going to share with you a letter, just a death threat that I received last month from a person claiming to be a threat here. I can't repeat the words because they're just too nasty. Claiming to be a New York City detective that tells me, watch out if you cross the street, watch out if you have an argument, you never know when things will strike. And there is a lot of racist, Islamophobic, pro-Israeli, IDF, Netanyahu, and so on. And they continue every single day. Why is that? Because in 2017, an organization called Lawfare sued me, along with the university, claiming that we spread anti-Semitism, claiming that teaching, scholarship, and advocacy on Palestine produces anti-Semitism. We thought the university was going to settle. We actually fought against it. We prevented the university from settling because we said there is no way. There is anti-Semitism at San Francisco State. I had a Nazi student in my class last year that the university did nothing about. But it's not coming from us. It's not from our work, and we're going to fight it. They had recruited a mega law firm of almost 1,000 lawyers. And they had the resources of the Zionist lobby. And their executive director, Brooke Goldstein, said, we're going to make the enemy pay. We're going to exact a heavy price of critics of Israel. And she said, there is no Palestine also. And I had 2 pro bono movement lawyers. One of them actually is a member of JPP-LA, but he's out of town. He couldn't be here tonight. And after 18 months, we defeated them. We defeated them when the judge, federal judge, Odeh, who himself happens to be Jewish, very respected, ruled, dismissed with prejudice, and produced 41 pages, which actually aligned with our politics and our analysis for justice in Palestine. He said, just because she's anti-Zionist and supports Palestinian resistance, that does make her anti-Semitic. Go away. You cannot prove this. You cannot prove anything. I mean, he went over and over, and I can tell you it was 77 pages. We don't have time, but I'm more than happy to explain because I know it by heart. But it was 18 months, that litigation to death, knowing that I'm a faculty member, that I'm one-person program, building a program by myself, without any administrative assistant, without an operating budget since 2011. And I'm not going to go away. And they tried to silence me this way. And we defeated them. We went to the university and we said to them, do the right thing now. You need to do the right thing. We defeated, it's very clear. We actually saved the university millions of dollars and a bad reputation out of that. But the university went and made a settlement with the lawfare behind our backs. Because what the Zionists do, what the forces of injustice do, is they always try to have backroom deals and go behind people's backs. San Francisco State is a public university that's supposed to be accountable to the public. But there is all these donations that come in, that we now have 3 lines in Israeli studies, that the donors say, this is what we're going to give you. We give you $1.7 million, the Correct Foundation. You don't punish Palestinian students enough, we'll take it away. And they took it away. And this continued again and again. But we've accomplished a lot of the stuff we have. We have the minor. We have the 22 courses. We actually created the Edward Said scholarship that they tried to take away, saying that Edward Said's family is not going to agree. So I wrote an email to Maryam Said and I said, is there anything you can do? So she said, she wrote back, because I had asked for permission from the family to do the scholarship before we did it. And she said, no, my husband is an educator. What Rabab is doing is actually exactly what we want. We support the Edward Said scholarship. Then we went and we did a memorandum of understanding with An-Najah National University in Palestine because our university wants to be global. But Campus Watch, as you know, Daniel Pipes, came out with the most Islamophobic, the most racist, claiming that I'm indoctrinating students in terrorism, claiming that my research in Palestine, I'm a Palestine studies scholar. I mean, they didn't bring me here to study Sweden, they brought me to study Palestine, to research Palestine. I mean, this is my work. And they said that I'm indoctrinating students. And anybody who knows education, you know that you cannot tell students to do anything they don't want to do. You can't even tell them to do their homework for their own classes. I mean, students have their own minds, their own being, and so on. And then they claimed that An-Najah National University, every time you can look at our website, the pictures of An-Najah, they only put pictures of men. And they make them in black and white to make him look like the KKK. Mind you, 64% of the student body of An-Najah has female students. But that's an inconvenient truth that the Zionists do not want to expose, because to expose that would defy the Islamophobic discourse on war and terror that constructs Arab and Muslim men as bloodthirsty terrorists, misogynists, haters, exceptionally homophobic, exceptionally sexist, against women who are docile, who do not stand up for themselves. And by the way, a lot of people refer to me as he, because they can't even fathom that maybe an Arab woman, maybe a Muslim woman, maybe a Palestinian woman actually can do this kind of scholarship and so on. So it has to be a man, right? And so they try to accuse us of that, and we have been defying it and defending against it, but they continue in and out. But we did the Edward Said Scholarship. We have the Memorandum of Understanding. They cannot mess up with it. It's signed, sealed, and delivered. It cannot be undone. They try to undo it. The most recent project we have is called Teaching Palestine, Pedagogical Praxis and the Indivisibility of Justice, that we built on the delegations we took to Palestine. I organized the delegation on which Angela Davis was. That was the only delegation to Palestine that she went on. We organized a delegation of US prisoners, first-time support for Palestinian prisoners in Palestine. And we've organized an academic delegation, labor delegation, and then we thought, let's bring all of them together and have the students go and learn in Palestine. We took the students, and we did study tour, and then we took the project to Cuba. We took the project to the World Congress of Middle East Studies. We took the project to McGill University, where we did a commemoration of Sabra and Shatila event. We took it to the American Studies Association, National Women's Studies Association, and then we collaborated with groups in South Africa, academic groups, and we did a joint project about conditions of education under apartheid and conditions of education under Palestine. Just want to tell you something that's really shocking, that not a single university commencement in Palestine had a full class. Not a single one. There is always kids who either are martyred, who are imprisoned, who are unable to get to, if they're from Gaza, for instance, and they get locked in, they cannot go to university. This is shocking statistics for a people who appreciate education, because it's the only passport you can take away with you. Our most recent project is called Study Abroad in Palestine, and we want to take students and make it official, and the university has stopped it. After we worked for many months, they stopped it, canceled it. They made us to go through all the hoops, including, for instance, asking me, what do you mean engaging Israeli peace movement? I said, I don't really, well, how am I going to answer this question? And I can't just say to the university, Google it, because that would be rude. And I didn't know what to do. We went through every single hoop, and after the students got ready, they canceled it. They canceled it even though the university sent students a whole year study abroad in Israel. So we've decided two things. One is I filed a lawsuit against the university in federal court, trying to silence me on the question of Palestine, what I speak, what I do, and so on. And the university refused the judge who was assigned to us, but by lottery, we received the judge who was the judge who ruled that Abercrombie and Fitch cannot make a woman who wears the hijab go to the back room. They chose. And the judge, the university asked for the court to be dismissed, and the judge refused. So now the court is going forward with that, federal. We also have a state court lawsuit that is also talking about the employment, the fact that I'm one faculty member, and so on. And then, so we're fighting in court, which we really need to fight in court. We're fighting in public opinion. We are teaching. We have amazing students. And lastly, we are going to do the study abroad in Palestine in January. We're taking community members. We have a librarian, Middle East Studies from Harvard University joining us. We have students going. And we are going to realize this project and ask the university, do you want to sign on to it and get the credit, or you don't want to sign on to it? So we continue. And the reason I continue is because I'm really empowered by all of you here. I'm empowered by the ADC, who continue to stand up for us and speak for our rights. I'm empowered by my students who speak every single day truth to power. I am empowered by everybody, by JVB, by Black Lives Matter, by people who are standing at the border, everybody who is saying, no, we're not going to compromise for justice. Because at the end of the day, we are all fighting for the indivisibility of justice. And like people before us, we too will win. Thank you.
Wow, a standing ovation. That was an amazing speech. Another round of applause, everyone. Thank you so much to Dr. Rabab And I also want to give a very special shout out to the Odeh family sitting over here, not just the daughter, but the mother and the other sister, the other daughter as well. We finished off the night very strong, but the night isn't over yet. Let's have another round of applause for all of the amazing speakers, all of the presenters, and all of the performances tonight. Also, I know some of you might want to follow some of the people who presented tonight, so shout out to Besma. You can follow her on Instagram at Besma Najim, for those of our Instagram users in the house tonight. We also have a group of performers. We have a live band in just a bit, and the band is called the Michelle Ashkar and Ensemble. So stick around.